Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very 22nd episode of Cool Down Timer.
Cool Down Timer, yeah.
My name is Nifu, and with me today I am joined by Zingles, Artman.
Excessive consumption may have a laxative effect.
And from the frozen wastelands of Alaska. Where's the wind? Mark Hamilton!
Tunnel snakes rule.
Yeah. Well, I actually want to start off this episode by informing you guys, you wonderful, wonderful people, that we have moved up on Stitcher from being about 14,000 on their list of popularity of their podcast to 6,000. 6,434. Yay, we're getting more popular.
That's like, we kind of doubled in popularity then, right?
Well,
if we moved from 14,000
well,
to like 6,000?
The thing is, at that stage, though,
One person can tip the scales.
one person can like move you up like thousands
I'll take
of
him.
stages.
Or her.
We love all of our
Egalitarian
listeners dearly.
Okay.
And
I
sometimes
may just
by
be
name.
So I don't really know how to accurately gauge how many listeners we have. We consistently have about 5 partial listens on YouTube, but sometimes, depending upon the topic of the episode, we'll get a little more. We'll get about 20 downloads from the Cool Down Timer website, and then maybe 2 or 3 on Stitcher.
Oh, really?
So I don't know. We need to do like a census to see how many people actually like legitimately listen to our show.
Yeah, because at this point it matters so much.
Well, I'm curious.
Let's wait till we get a little more where it's actually wonderable. Because at this point,
Wonder.
we just need more people. Spread the word.
What's in a wonder ball?
Bring people here. Let them be baptized, and I'm done.
Yeah. So if any of you remember last week's episode,
Previously on Cool Down Timer.
I'll never. You guys will all forget. You'll never remember.
Name.
Data clap. Data clap.
Real life?
Battlestar Galactica.
Their spines glow red.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Actually, that's the wrong Pooh thing because we sang the other one last week.
It's time to get up. Time to get going.
Will Superman make it back in time?
Not 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
Will
Mark,
Superman qualify for a higher minimum wage?
Mark,
If you listened to last week's episode, there was the whole thing about Superman works at McDonald's, the movie, the TV show, the video game. We had Zingles Artman do a little picture of it, and it's on the Facebook page and on the actual website for episode 21. So go check it out.
Don't judge me for the art. I did it in like an hour.
Judge him for the art.
Judge Nifu for the art.
What can I say?
Judgy.
But no,
Didn't we have a list of topics?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I was trying to get there. I was trying to say.
Firaxis, civilization.
No. Let's resolve the tension of last week's cliffhanger ending. Let's discuss The Thief and the Cobbler.
That's right.
The thief and
I
the
tried
peach.
to keep you guys from remembering this.
Yeah, I rewatched. This is actually the first episode since we started recording that I have listened to. And it's the one where I was reminded about the cliffhanger.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for the fact that you had me reschedule recording from Friday to Saturday for a reason that ended up being completely nullified.
It's okay.
I kept it in my heart because The Thief and the Cobbler is in my heart.
Yeah.
I downloaded Recobbled Mark IV.
Oh.
Did you watch it?
I jumped through it.
Weird art, right?
Oh.
Trippy freaking art.
Okay, wait. We need to back up and give context before we even start about recobbling. And I keep thinking about Cobbler, like Peach Cobbler.
Yes!
Can that just be the picture for this episode? Just Peach Cobbler?
Yes! Is it a peach cobbler? Yes, it is a peach
This will be the recobbled episode. I'll do a
do you
drawing.
want me to give the background?
Yes,
or do you want
yes,
to
I
do
don't
it?
know
You
the
are
background.
much
I
more-
just only did
much
about
more
10 minutes
betterer.
of research.
Jibber jabber.
Okay. Personally, I saw this movie when I was just a wee lad, but the movie I don't know. It came out in the 90s, right? Pretty sure.
Possibly.
Basically, the movie's about. It's strangely similar to Aladdin. It's in the desert. There's a sultan, but there's these 3 magic golden balls that are stolen, and they're the only thing protecting the kingdom from a horde of really scary looking for a kids film.
They look like Emperor Zurg.
One-eyed monsters with a giant death machine. And this cobbler who fixes shoes, that kind of cobbler, has to get the balls back.
So he can summon a dragon?
Hold on. Oh, I was going to do that joke. I've been watching that. You can't make that joke.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Die. It's not even funny anymore. He ruined my joke. Continue, Mark.
Right. So it was just kind of a weird movie, mostly notable for having the voice of Victor Price as the bad guy, Zigzag.
Who is called Zigzag because of the way his shoes move when he walks.
Well, yeah. They do move in zigzag fashion. But it has a really interesting history. Oh, I wish I had actually researched this. Okay, one second. The movie is the...
You had a week.
Here, Mark,
Well, it's the...
jump on Wiki. Nifu and I will vamp for a second.
No, I got this. It was the... it was the dream project of Richard Williams, who was an animator. And, okay, listen, an animated movie is not something one person should be able to make. I mean, animation is so friggin' time intensive. You need whole teams of people working on it. Now we just make warehouses full of Koreans do it for us. But this guy tried to make this movie all by himself pretty much, and he spent 28 years on it. 28 years of going down to the garage, animating a
long time.
like nanoseconds of footage.
Now, the question is that dedication or insanity?
Yes.
I think that's a freaking awesome hobby.
It is. It's a hobby. Poor guy.
And he got the movie I'd say about 85 or 70% done when he managed to get it picked up by a distributor. Yeah, Warner Brothers. No, wait. He almost got Warner Brothers. You know what? You can read the wiki. He got someone to distribute it. But he wasn't able to quite finish it in time, and due to some contract stuff, the people at the distributor just had their own animators fill in the missing gaps. They added a bunch of really stupid songs. They got rid of some plot points entirely. And
well, they gave the characters voices too, which they didn't have. Well, most of them didn't have originally.
Yeah. Like the thief didn't have a voice, and they gave
neither
him a
did the
voice.
cobbler, and it was all done through movements. But in the official released version, it was all done through an internal monologue.
Yeah.
Because they had to have something there because art is not good enough.
And they added a song where all the bandits sing about how they should have gone to school, which was really pointless and kind of stupid.
Way down deep inside, I've got a dream. He's got a dream. He's got a dream.
If only it was that good.
A gleam.
So the movie as it is just kind of mediocre, but if you can get your hands, there's a recobbled version that is the original version, though bits of it does not have animation, just has either very basic animation or basically storyboards, and those are the parts he did not finish.
He just released the 4th version. The guy who's doing the recobbled cut released the 4th version last year, I believe. Is what it looked like when I was looking it up, and I got it. It's like, why is nobody talking? Did we lose you?
I don't know. I just had to start clapping. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really interesting story. I feel terrible for the guy.
Or look trippy. Well, okay. The thing that kind of threw me off about it was the frigging repeated patterns in some of the backgrounds.
Yeah. Did you see the chase scene through the checkered background?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
they are trying to mess with your head.
It is a beautiful film.
Yeah.
With a crazy design sense. Very MC Escher in some places.
It's like a checker room, and then he'll run, and then the checkers you're seeing are all of a sudden stairs because of perspective and everything, and he's running downstairs, but then it's in a big room where things looks like it's moving up because of patterns and like optical illusions, and it's trippy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely was an interesting person.
Yeah, man.
And it's really technically is the last movie to come out starring Vincent Price.
Who is Vincent Price?
Though Vincent Price
I haven't a
recorded
clue.
all of his dialogue in the 60s and 70s.
Who is Vincent Price?
Okay, you don't know who Vincent Price is?
I don't recognize his name. Just tell me who he is.
He's the guy with the creepy dang voice. With the awesome creepy voice. I don't know how to describe it. No one else has Vincent Price's voice.
It's true. I know who Vincent Price is, mainly from the Muppets, I think, though.
He was on an episode of the Muppets.
Okay.
Everyone.
Oh, he's
was.
got an awesome mustache.
He does have he was like a creepy guy.
Yeah.
Just go to a list like his filmography.
He was in a ton of different stuff, but you've probably never seen it because, he was around during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s mainly. He was in the Ten Commandments. He was in Edward Scissorhands. He was the guy who made Edward Scissorhands.
I tried watching that. I hated that
Question mark.
Yes.
re-release title.
Oh, okay. Forget it.
No, it had a different. The movie had a different title in the different countries. It was released in two separate.
Okay.
Like two cuts.
Yeah. The Thief and the Cobbler was called The Princess and the Cobbler on his IMDb. Anyway.
Okay, no, I know how to tell you his voice. You have seen the Thriller music video, right? Michael Jackson, Thriller.
At one point in time in the distant past.
He's the narrator, the guy saying, those grisly ghouls will.
There'll be a link in the description, and I will show Nifu after the podcast.
Yeah. Gotta make this good
You should be
radio.
punished for not being intimately familiar with the Thriller music video.
I've never seen the Thriller music video. Though oddly,
You
I
should be
know
double
the
ashamed.
dance.
But you grew up in a sock, basically, when it comes to media.
I grew up in a sock. You were no.
He was talking to me.
Oh. You did grow up in a sock.
That's why I'm not blaming singles as
No,
much.
But I used to know the entire dance because in a little film thing I was in a long time ago, they had the entire Thriller dance in it, and everyone had to learn it.
Lindsay Sterling.
Though I guess since you just watched the Thief and the Cobbler, he's Zigzag.
Well, I didn't actually watch it. I downloaded it. I haven't watched it yet.
That would take effort.
No, that would take 2 hours.
That I could be looking at my Facebook
I could
page.
either have been playing Artemis, or I could watch The Thief and the Cobbler.
I could either
You
have
tell
been
me.
watching Thief and the Cobbler or contemplating Battlestar Galactica.
You tell me. Which would you prefer doing? Watching Thief and the Cobbler or playing Artemis?
Wait, are we segueing already?
I don't know.
Well, I was gonna try to segue into puppets, but then this just came up a lot easier. So we'll do Artemis.
Wait, before we do our final segue, I love the whole Thief and the Gobbler thing. Does anyone else have thoughts about it?
Oh, I the Recobbled stuff that I've seen. I haven't seen all of it. You showed me a good chunk of it though, and I love the idea behind it, and I love the art because it's different and thinking outside the box. So it seems pretty cool. I just haven't sat down and watched the whole thing yet.
And the final
of it.
death machine
It's
sequence.
crazy.
I saw part of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is a monument. That could have been the whole movie.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, just the fact that one guy tried to do that all on his own is just nuts.
There's a crazy sequence
That man
of a
is
death
crazy.
machine, and it's awesome.
Da 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 da. That was me segueing into Artemis.
Okay, Artemis.
Who wants to talk about it?
Helm ready, Captain.
Space, the final frontier.
Let us boldly go where most people have gone before.
Artemis, or otherwise known as Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator,
It's
is
freaking awesome.
basically that. It's a simulator. It's the Star Trek game that you never knew you wanted,
Never knew
and
you needed.
never existed. I guess. Basically, it's a 3-ish to 6-ish player.
You need at least 3 to do it
At least
decently.
3, but no more really than 6. Multiplayer game where each person that's playing takes up one role or position in, a Star Trek-esque bridge. And then, so you got your captain who can't really do anything but can tell people to do stuff. You got your helmsman who can fly the thing, your weapons guy who shoots the guns, engineering who can divert power to shields. And
I'm giving it all
like
she's got,
that.
Captain.
You got your comms officer who
Communicates.
communicates.
And the science
You
officer.
got your science officer who scans, and
It's all pretty self-explanatory.
it's pretty self-explanatory. But I don't know. I have. It is a fun little context for role playing.
Yeah, each role is really, really limited in what they can do. And so they really need the captain to bring them all together. Like the helmsman, he can move the ship, but he can only see a certain amount of area around him. And so there's several times where I'm like flying the ship, and I don't know that
our helmsman.
I'm usually the helmsman, and I don't know what's around me. And then I'll be directed to this area, and then we'll be put on battle alert or whatever. And torpedoes are being loaded and stuff, and I still don't see anything. And all of a sudden we fly right into a whole bunch of ships, and Nifu, who is our captain, is giving us the orders and set a heading of 200 blah, 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 warp 4.
And it's amazing how well it creates what it's trying to create.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it only really works if you play it the way it's meant to be played.
You gotta roleplay this thing.
And if you don't roleplay it well, you're not gonna have a good time. Your ship isn't gonna get very far. Everyone's gonna be doing crazy stuff.
Yes, it is freaking awesome.
But it's just really great. Like, in those Star Trek shows, the captain doesn't do anything. He just sits there in his chair, and everyone else has the screens. And
the best part is that when I was doing the captaining, I would either be in one of two positions. I would be leaning back in a chair, staring at like 3 different monitors, watching like what was going on immediately around us, the surroundings of the entire area, the visual of what we could see, or I was just pacing around with my hands on my chin, just like, what to do.
That's awesome. Yeah,
As
I
I'm
sat
trying-
at a chair.
because a captain can't really do anything besides tell everyone else what to do.
I think this would be really fun for a LAN party.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine if you had a big LAN party where you could have 2 competing ships.
That'd be amazing.
That would be freaking awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
Helm to engineering.
And what was really cool for me was how each role added something.
Oh, I'm nothing without an engineer.
Because-
Ever since we got our first engineer, it's just been like, I can't do my J-hook without an engineer, and that's one of the captain's most requested maneuvers.
Because
And just the science officer, like before I started doing the science officer as well as weapons, all we knew is long range sensors say a ship is over there, it's a red dot. Let's go over there. Oh look, it's a ship. But the science officer can see everything in incredible detail. He just can't do anything with that information. He has to give it to the captain and say, Captain, there is an enemy ship in Sector C7. It appears to be an M-class cruiser.
I love how that
Highly on.
I love how they can find out specific details about like the personalities of the captains and stuff.
He is not married.
And he's very bombastic.
And then the comms officer has different insults to
So
to
they
like
can, like,
get
taunt
them
'em.
yeah to lure them into a trap, basically.
But you could totally do the Star Trek thing. You could zoom up, and the captain and the sensor guy would say, Captain, we're picking up this ship. And then the captain could say, hail them, and the communications guy would hail them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get them to surrender sometimes, especially if they're wounded already.
And then
So
if they
hailing them
attack,
is actually important.
you can totally say, Red alert, shields up. And the weapons guy can say, remodulating our phasers, basically.
Actually, thought for future reference from we're playing the game, the red alert should be our cue to put up the shields.
Yes.
Because it's a really easy tap for me.
So we've been playing on like what, difficulty 4, maybe difficulty 5.
I think 5's our next one. We're working away yet.
After we all got off, or after you guys all got off yesterday, Autry and I just did a really crazy run where we popped it to difficulty 11 with very interesting. Oh gosh, there were so many little red dots everywhere.
Oh gosh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to eventually be able to do that.
Oh, dude, I look forward to continuing to play this game. But again, like, it's one of those games that, like, you have to play socially. So we've been talking about, like, social games. This would be a great MMO, I think. Or, like, if you could do, like, this as an...
It would be really neat if it was set in a thing where, like, everyone's ship was set in the same universe.
Yeah.
Yes. But, I mean, I don't know. I almost feel like that doesn't deserve the word MMO, though.
Well, I mean, in its current state, it wouldn't, but...
Yeah, I don't know, because considering you really can't do it without a group.
Well, no, like, you just have... Each ship would be run by a party.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Being able to hail actual people, maybe and actually type in stuff and actually communicate. Well, I mean, frick, everyone's going to be on chat anyway. Actually chat with them. There'd have to be an in-game chat of some sort. Putting them up on screen. You had me at hello, you beautiful, beautiful thing.
This is one of those few examples of a really good collaborative multiplayer video game.
Yes,
Very
yes.
Where it's not fighting each other, but working together to accomplish a difficult task. And we could definitely use more of those.
Yeah, no,
I think there's a few. Like, isn't there one where you're a team of firefighters and you have to get out of a burning building?
I'm
Not
sure
that
that
I'm
I think I read about that.
I'm sure.
Oh no, that's a board game, actually. I'm sorry. I've been playing a bunch of board games. And recently I was introduced to collaborative board games, which just kind of blew my mind.
Have you played, what is it? It's,
Never even heard of that.
Yeah, collaborative
Pandemic?
board games
Have you
where
played
either everyone
Pandemic?
wins or everyone loses.
Have you played Pandemic?
No, but I've seen people playing it. Man, that's crazy.
Gosh. Okay, so for the people at home, Pandemic is basically this game where everybody plays as basically like the CDC, and they're trying to travel around the world to try to stop this disease or these
A
various
bunch of different
from
diseases.
killing everybody. I played that once, but the friends I played it with had the expansion pack where one of the players could play as the bioterrorist, and so they were
that's
playing
awesome.
against everybody else as a disease.
Yeah,
It was one of the
and
most fun times
know,
I've
recently-
ever had playing any board game ever.
Were you the disease?
Yeah, of course I was.
I thought you were. You're that
Did you
kind of a
win?
person.
Oh, of course I did.
Because usually
Oh.
it's like 50-50 if the diseases are going to win or not, unless you have a really good team. It's a hard game to win. You have to really work together. But no, at this board game club I go to recently, they played a similar game where it was a Jack the Ripper game, where one player was Jack the Ripper and everyone else was
Dark.
constables trying to catch him.
Huh.
And it was really interesting. But we don't get
like
many
stuff like that.
super collaborative multiplayer video games.
It's true.
Well, I mean, we've got a couple. I mean, Left 4 Dead is collaborative.
And I mean, like,
And that's fun when you
Yeah.
have a group of people to play it.
well, I mean, it was until it got boring.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played as much as you, but there's a reason.
Speaking about, multiplayer games and that conversation we had a couple episodes back about MMOs, we got okay, so when we had our viewer email a couple of weeks back from Zach, that was one of my home dogs. So I mean, yay, it was an email, but it was from someone we know. We got our first email from someone we don't know. And it's on the topic of MMOs.
Validation!
Validation.
All of this equipment was worth something.
So we got an email from Noraski Albeister, I believe I'm pronouncing that.
Wait, where did
it's out
there? It is.
Yeah, Albeister. I think that's how. Yeah, I don't know. And so he said, I think an MMO could be improved upon by having a player-run town economy. And that says not say economy. That says environment.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
I think you were adding your own ideas.
Okay.
To that.
I'm already. Okay, so so he says, okay, I know so I know that most people would wonder why I say player-run town environment, but bear with me. The game can be so much more than the age-old and beaten to death run out into the wilderness, kill shit, bring back the crap you find, craft it into something and wear it. For people like me who have shitty computers and slow combat reflexes, I'm just like, the computer's like
It's okay. It's
halfway
all the
across
booze.
the room.
Wah, wah, wah. You're just complaining all day tonight, are you?
Dude, we freaking finished those stupid amnesia videos tonight. I am done with that stupid game. Because Ziegel's art man here, his game depresses me. Well, suck it. I owned this game.
Maybe I was the one who won. I got you to finish the game. Though in reality, it didn't really make me depressed for like a week.
No, gosh. Continuing the email. Let's see, where were we?
Yeah, this is a very strange email talking about personal disputes.
Combat turns into this painful thing that really has just turned me off from MMOs as a whole because they only focus on combat. I mean, there's a whole underlying idea behind economy. What if players could open entire shops, gangs, form police squads, and run a town together?
Sounds familiar.
Sure, there's trolls, and no, that's too far. That's too far. You scroll down too far.
Well,
sure, there's trolls, and
you
there's
are whiny tonight.
there's different ideas. But imagine how vastly different the towns would be. One town could hate all races that aren't human. One town could be a merchant's haven where any craftsman could flourish to compete. There could be internal battles of political intrigue and assassination attempts to overthrow a king over time by harassing
this game.
with expensive respawns and a loss of skills in his diplomacy skills or whatever. The mayor of a small village could become a tyrant and hire random adventurers with quests to go beat up on the shopkeeper who refused to pay for the luxury of living and owning land in his village. Imagine a whole new level of complexity in a different battlefield than just a literal one, where the player-run economy rules are formed by the community, and when these rules are made, those rules are religiously guarded and followed by all except those who aren't in the know. I don't know. Might just be me, but I think that would be a game worth owning.
I would own it.
That actually reminds me of how we used to play Minecraft.
Yes. That's how we used to play Minecraft. We would set up money systems. We would and we would just do our best to make a running economy. And it's hard to do.
The thing that okay,
well, it was very hard to do in Minecraft because in Minecraft anybody can produce anything.
Yeah.
It's hard to get people to pay for stuff they could get themselves if they just put some elbow grease in.
One of the things that we made, I was adminning the server at that point, and one of the things that we had to do was make sure we differentiated between server rules and in-game player rules. I mean, like, you got your basic "don't be a dick" server rules, but then within "don't be a dick," there are certain elements of being a dick that you can do without being a complete and utter
Well,
dick.
then we kept adding on, like we added the banditos eventually.
I love the banditos.
Who had like a special. Okay, so there was like no PvP for the most part. I mean,
well, no, there was no PvP within town limits.
Within the town limits, and then there was no griefing, no stealing from chests.
And griefing is considered like ruining buildings.
Yeah, within the town limits.
I think just touching someone's building, breaking a single block, it's taboo.
Yeah.
I would feel dirty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, as when you're working, the way we were doing it, it was a collaborative building. I mean, it really was. We were just trying to build this town together. No one really wanted to destroy it. We never had a problem with griefing or stealing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Correct. Though we did at one point when I think we found a mod that locked chests, and we tried to allow unlocked chests to be stolen from, but that didn't really last all that long.
Well, because everyone just locked their chests.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the banditos that I loved was, so there was one town, and then there were a couple guys to the north that lived up there, and some people needed to travel back.
I loved that map.
But I was playing as one of the banditos, and my house was like overlooking this road. And so at any point I could like see people crossing back and forth, and I could shoot them with arrows. And I think I killed.
You killed Mark.
Wife.
No, you killed Mark. I remember because he put a bounty on your head, and then I talked to you about splitting the bounty if you would let me kill you, and he did, and we split the bounty.
Yep. I was so mad about that.
I'm sorry.
But I was so mad about dying in the first place. I was doing business.
Yeah. No, that was the game where
you and your bandit castle at the top of the hill. No one could get into that.
Dude, there were like 80 billion entrances
sight lines
to
on
it.
all the approaches.
No, okay, so that was the map where I decided that I was done being good, and I used to play the farmer in the old days, and I decided to become a corrupt mayor. So
Ringo never trusted you on that map.
I know. Well, it's because he worked with me in the beginning with you.
Right, because you guys were all banditos with me.
Yeah. But I was always
His mall.
his giant
Ringo
mall.
made a huge mall on that map.
Yeah.
Oh, the exploit,
I don't know.
man.
It's kind of weird. Every time a mall has been built in one of our servers, the server slowly dies after that. Because he built that one. I built one in Grey Roost.
Grey Roost was the name of the name of the one of the cities in our very first.
Yeah,
map.
our very first. And that one was so big. It actually really did have like 4 different.
There was Grey Roost, there was Three Peaks.
Oh, this is nostalgia for me. We had our very first building. Remember that little fort we made?
The one that ended up getting destroyed.
It ended up
covered
getting
in lava.
destroyed, and then we went across the ocean. That little, it was more like a river, but it was an inlet.
Yeah.
And we made I made a giant castle, which we eventually abandoned for Three Peaks.
Yep.
And we built our town there, and then eventually
Three
I
Peaks
wandered off.
was a series of 3 mountains that we each had a house on the top of.
And it was cool because Three Peaks, it was our starting town. We didn't really know what we were doing.
It was a real town.
It was a really rough economy. As far as like we just traded, there was no money or anything. But then I went and I started up a new town in Grey Roost where the whole idea was economy. Like it's like this is going to be an economy town, and it became kind of the main
had a
town.
monopolistic guild system.
I did, and it worked pretty well. I mean, there was definitely problems with it, but which I think have been fixed pretty much in our current one.
And then I made what was it, Nephopolis?
Was that your cheated town where you? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a cheated town; it was a god mode town. Well, that was also.
I got so mad at you one time. That I went up into one of your solid gold blimps and I stole gold from it.
Gosh. Oh yeah, because I had that like airship like docking station that was floating above the city. Well, I think two things. One, I think one of my favorite parts of that particular map was just how when it was in its, I guess, quote, finished state and you looked at what it was, it looked nothing like the original bare land. There were roads everywhere.
Well, that's what I love about our current one. Like, I mean, and I've definitely it's grown faster than any of the maps. It's been definitely encouraged. But you just, I'll go in and I'll get into God mode every once in a while because I'm the server admin for this one.
I'm done with Minecraft.
And I just kind of fly over the city and I'm like, this is beautiful.
Gosh. The other thing was Three Peaks was when we really started getting into the mythology that we've started building this mythology in our Minecraft games. It started out with there being this god of chaos, Nifu.
Yes, because Nifu was
I was the server admin,
and so a lot of times he would fly around in God mode, and
do whatever the heck he wanted.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he did whatever that. When Ender Dragons were released, I had just started a little farm in between Three Peaks and Grey Roost. Suddenly, there were 7 dragons hovering overhead, and if you've ever had a Ender Dragon released in the overworld, you'll know that they like to burrow through the ground. Within about 5 minutes, the entire continent was pretty much destroyed.
I think Mark also has a story about when he was building a bridge.
I remember this. It became an underwater bridge after that. Or bridge tunnel.
Oh yeah, I was building a bridge across something, and then suddenly gigantic zombies appeared all around me.
He also crashed.
And it was because Nifu was noodling with the mob physics and stuff.
And that was right before I attempted to explode 7,000 blocks of TNT to see what would happen. It crashed. That was the first server crash of...
You kept experimenting with how many blocks of TNT you could explode.
Yeah. So
wasn't there also a giant ice cream cone somewhere on that map?
Yes, there was.
Yep. Yes.
Anyway,
so we had Nifu, the god of chaos,
and he was chaotic.
And so I mean that lasted for a while, but apparently Nifu is now. Oh, okay. One of my favorite moments. So we had so it was me, Zam, Mark, our 3 significant others. Mark's 2 brothers. Ringo wasn't on that server, but so
we had people around.
Yeah, so there were people around, and I think one of my favorite parts was so we'd been playing up the whole Nifu god of chaos or whatever. One time I was just like flying around and I was like, oh yay, it's a fountain. And so I dropped into this fountain and there was a hatch. And so I opened up the hatch and there was a staircase. a ladder, and so I
And
went
this was hidden underneath the water.
exactly
in the
yes.
fountain.
And so I went down this ladder, and there was this shrine to Herobrine predicting the downfall of Nifu, the god of chaos. And I have
And it was an awesome shrine. There was an obsidian lava fount. There was crazy hieroglyphics on signs.
I can only assume that it was your older brother, Mark.
Wait, you don't know who it was?
No, I have no clue who it was.
Really?
Wait, you still don't?
I never asked anybody.
I thought you figured out. That was me.
Really?
I did
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
I was bored. I wanted to make a secret. I wanted to make a secret to see if someone found it.
There were
and
several
then
more.
It just grew from there.
There was one inside the castle too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never went into the castle after that.
Well, that
first
was
time.
after it had been discovered, and I'm like, wow, people have figured this out. Now there's a competing god, Herobrine. And if you don't know, Herobrine's kind of a Minecraft legend.
You even installed
Like,
a mod eventually that had signs from Herobrine
Herobrine
appear.
would occasionally just appear around the map.
And then there were signs that would appear behind you that said like "I'm watching you" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you installed that mod later, but basically it became a dueling cosmology. Herobrine, the god of destruction, versus Nifu, the god of chaos.
And then way later, I my name in the game is like Rook Stormweaver, and eventually I had modding powers for a while or something, and so I started kind of coming up with this secondary. No, it was when I helped you build that giant statue. We were setting up a
Let's
server.
not go into too much detail about that.
Okay, so it's kind of background. This was what 2 years ago. I found a skin for my character that is basically just like that derpy kind of dumb meme face, but then naked, and I have stuck with that for 2 years.
I'm an orc in a business suit.
But yeah, so we made a golden statue in honor of the naked deity.
No, I don't mean that one. I mean like a
chaos.
server or two later when I made the giant sandstone statue with his hand out
Oh
in the
gosh,
torch.
yes, that one. Jeez.
Anyway, so when we started doing that, we started creating this secondary god, Rook Stormweaver, who was the god
We
of
also
storm.
made a casino.
Yeah, that was Nifu's.
Did anybody find the casino?
No.
Yeah, not really.
Anyway,
I saw it.
so recently, well, actually, a while back, we kind of stopped. Everyone kind of stopped playing Minecraft for almost a year. Maybe?
Yeah, that happens, people stop.
Yeah, but we just started a
Goes in
new
waves.
server, and we have new lore with it, where Rook Stormweaver, the god of order, took everyone, all of the chosen people from blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, the final outcome was that after many struggles, Herobrine prevailed against Nifu and destroyed the server
And Rook,
because it's not up anymore.
and Rook Stormweaver's one goal is to revive Nifu and bring him back to the world.
Gosh.
No, but I like very orderly things, so I'm the god of order.
Yeah.
Our new server is awesome, though.
No, and I don't
castle's
know. I've kind of gotten just
awesome.
really bored with Minecraft lately. So the only way I've occasionally played is with the idea that my character is currently an adventurer that is slowly going insane. That is basically just going on quests and discovering weird ruins.
And
The
creating weird rooms.
Well, yes, I'm creating
Yeah.
the weird ruins, but the characters.
He brings the
discovering
books
them.
back, and then I have a shopkeeper that sells them. No one buys them, though.
So basically, to answer Naraske Alabeister's question, yes, that would make a fun game.
Actually,
Yeah, basically that the roundabout way of saying.
it actually sounds like Rust.
Yeah, I know. It also does sound a lot like what I've heard Rust is like. I tried playing it once, but I was playing alone, and all I had was my rock, and I attacked a bear with it, and I died.
Good
The
lord.
end.
Yeah, if you don't know much about Rust and you want a game like that, I'd look up Rust.
But you also got the
You
thing with
gotta
that type
kinda-
of game is you gotta kind of in
gotta
order
know
to
people.
participate and actually have fun, you kind of got to reach out and I don't know.
Well, apparently in that game,
Make connections.
there's an in-game chat that you can't turn off, like voice chat, and it only works when you're within a certain distance of people, which is an awesome idea.
Yeah.
It's an awesome
Yeah.
idea.
Though that's a very violent game. Though I remember reading one story where these guys found people sleeping, and I don't know how the sleeping mechanic works, but I guess
When you log off, you fall asleep, and your character is still in game.
Okay, well, they found sleeping people, so they're logged out, and they killed them and took their stuff, right? But then they hung around and kept watching that and waited for the people to log in again and, like, respawn or whatever. And they went to them and said, yeah, we saw that the guild over on the other hill killed you guys, but we'll help you get revenge on them.
Oh, my.
And they used them to help take out a rival.
Wow. I've heard some crazy stories. That's the thing. It's like Minecraft where you just get those crazy stories.
Or Eve.
But
again, with Eve, once
it's
a year
not as
from the
it's
outside.
not as it doesn't sound as boring as Eve.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's one I'm looking forward to getting my hands on. $20 on Steam.
But it would be nice to have a collaborative, because when you think about it, the real-life economy is a really complicated system that has taken thousands of years to build.
For better or worse.
Imagine people just trying to build society from scratch, to go from rocks to jets. And you gotta get factories and transportation. That'll either be really interesting or really boring.
Really long game of Civ 5 by Firaxis.
Hey, somehow that came into the... For some reason on our notes it says Firaxis Civ 5. We don't know why or who wrote it there, but it just worked itself into the...
It's fun. Didn't we have a... No, I guess we didn't.
I think you said you had a story that you wanted to tell us about... No, it was about a bet that they made, or a disagreement that they were having at Firaxis about moving the initial settlers.
So, if you ever played Civilization, well, if you haven't, this won't make a lot of sense, but at the beginning, you start out with a little settler who can make a city and a little warrior dude. And a little while back at Firaxis, who makes Civ 5, by the way, they were just having a staff meeting talking about game stuff, working on the expansions or the next game or whatever the heck they're working on. When one person was talking about a game they had just played through, which is awesome that they can do that at work and that's what they get paid to do. Incidentally. But he just mentioned how he didn't like where the computer had placed him as his starting spot, so he spent a turn moving to a better spot. And suddenly, the whole meeting devolved into a huge debate about whether or not you should ever move your starting settler. With like 50-50 people yelling, saying, you'd have to be an idiot to move it. And other people like, no, if it's a better spot, you should move it. Because every turn you don't have a city is a turn you're not producing science or buildings or units or money. And it's a turn everyone else has ahead of you. So, big argument about it. What do you guys think?
I know the resolution to the story, so my opinion is tainted by that.
I think...
Well, just the times you've played, what do you usually do? When you play?
I don't think I've ever played strategically enough where I'm worried about one turn.
Yeah.
Like, I think any more than that,
so
if there was a cool looking place nearby, I have moved. There's been times where I got stuck with nothing but like friggin' poop, like poop trees or something, and then I moved.
In that one game that we will finish.
That game is finished. I've won.
That game is not finished. We will finish that game.
That land is mine.
Win. No,
that land is mine. It belongs
to the Herodians. That city is going down.
For context,
Zingles
and I
talked about
spawned
it in
Paradise, and Nifu spawned in the middle of a friggin' desert.
No, I spawned south of you in a desert, and Nifu spawned north of you in a desert, and I went for the desert, or I went for the Paradise slightly above you,
which just happened to be the only isthmus for me to be able to get out of my friggin' desert in the north.
Yeah, so
I'm not
maybe
giving that
you
land
should
up.
have moved, Nifu. Fine, I spawned in Paradise. It was beautiful.
I had desert. I had some rocks.
So basically what they did to settle it is they set up a computer program to run like 1,000 games of Civ under different conditions. And one of the computers just built wherever it was plopped right away. And the other computer, I don't know how they do this, but it's able to analyze what a better spot might be within one turn's travel. And it would move every time. and a third AI that just sat on its thumbs for a turn and then built where it was placed. And the results were that on average, the AI that moved by turn 100 was doing better, had built more wonders, was producing more money, more science, everything that matters, than the guy who builds right away. So that's been settled. If you play Civ.
Slow and
Pro
steady
tip.
wins the metaphorical race.
Pro tip.
Well, on that protiptulous note,
Ooh, I like that fake word. Protiptulous.
Wait, we need to.
That's going down.
We need to finish by celebrating our fan who wrote in.
Yeah, no, dude, we are so happy about you. You
make
help
us happy.
encourage us.
Yep, it's true.
Singles, you were in a band once. Write him a song right now, off the top of your head.
But I've never been in a real band.
I'll
We were in a-
beatbox for you. Rap for us.
What? I don't know how to rap. Yeah, no, this isn't happening. You want me to beatbox and you rap?
Well, okay. I will beatbox and you rap for 10 seconds.
I don't know how to
Then
rap.
you beatbox
I am the
and I will
whitest
rap.
person that I know.
Have you seen Eminem? He's white. He's a big famous rapper.
One.
Did you
The exception. the
my
exception
God,
proves the
They
rule.
are making a hip-hop inspired album based off of Game of freaking Thrones.
Oh.
There's like
but-
15 songs by hip-hop artists about Game of Thrones.
That hurts something. That hurts something deep inside my soul.
Yikes.
It's like if you're interested in finding out about this cringeworthy thing, it's like at soundcloud.com/something the throne. It's not. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
If you want, I'll do
Link
it
in
with
the
a rap.
description. Okay.
Rap it.
Yo, I'm Mark, and I'm here to say our first fan is really okay. I think he's neat and probably cool. May even have a house of a pool. That's how cool I think he is. And here's the proof. He likes our show. A lot. Fizzle.
Thanks, Naroski Alibeister. You are awesome.
I have no idea what you said because I pulled my headphones out because of the Skype lag.
It was funny.
Keep up beat. So I'll listen to and appreciate your rap.
If you thought that rap was terrible, it was at least better than
this-
Singles.
on Thursday when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I only
on
do
that,
nostalgic songs.
on that protiptulous note, yeah. We've
We've
come to the end of our episode 22 of Cool Down Timer. I am Nifu. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Straight Up Nifu. You can find me on YouTube. Why am I still plugging my YouTube channel? I have not put anything on there in months. However, if you go to www.nifu.com, I have recently been posting reviews of the most recent episodes of Scandal and Hannibal.
or scannable.
Freaking the president in that show is a butt-faced baby man child.
It's okay.
Moving on.
We really are having trouble ending this episode.
You can find Singles Artman
There's
at
been a
facebook.com
rap, an argument.
Singles Artman. Yeah, and you can check out his awesome. I'm gonna try to convince him to do artwork for each of the episodes, like at least like a little crappy, something he could whip up in an hour.
Yeah, like the stupid Superman doodle.
Minimum wage Superman.
Yeah. Protiptulous.
And then you can find Mark Hamilton here at thepagenebula.wordpress.com.
Wow. Sorry, continue.
And then if you want to hear more of the podcast, you can check it out at,
If you're here, you probably know where to find it.
cooldowntimer.com, iTunes, Stitcher. Go download it on Stitcher, even if you have no intent. No. Listen to it. Only download it on Stitcher if you're going to listen to it, but do listen to it so that we actually have legitimate listens, so that our rating.
If you like us.
5,000 by June.
That's a lot, but okay.
No, I mean like above 5,000. So we're at 6.
Well, we can't control this.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to encourage people. Go tell your friends,
If you guys
go have them listen to the awesomeness that was last episode.
I don't know. What can we do as a reward for that?
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons. Okay. If Are down? No, then that no. Okay, we'll think about something.
We'll
What's the
come up with
question of the
week? Question of the week is: do you move your settlers on the first turn, or do you plop your settlement where they stand?
And it is plop, isn't it? Like that's the word
no,
what game uses plop?
SimCity.
Sims.
SimCity.
Yes, plop.
Plop. It's a
Plop.
good word. It's what I'm going to name my eventual pug.
You need to name your freaking cat soy
My
sauce.
cat will probably be named Sideburns.
Soy sauce.
It's either Sideburns, soy sauce,
Soy
soup.
sauce.
Might be named Soup. Soup's a good name.
Soy sauce.
I'm going with Sideburns over soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
Maybe soy sauce.
Thank you.
Maybe. I'll give you a maybe. I did come up with that idea for the name.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Cool down time, yeah.